cover the Traefik Ingress Controller, which is the most popular and very good features. So if you search in the internet now, the Nginx Ingress Control is most used, but slowly Traefik is also most popular and most used, and with the features and easy to set up than Nginx and Ingress controllers. So let's say what is the Ingress. So Ingress, it is a Kubernetes object which allows access to a Kubernetes service from the outside or external. Using Ingress, we can expose ports like 8443 from outside network of Kubernetes over the internet. Okay, so different types of Ingress controller. We have the first Nginx Ingress controller, AWS application load balancing, Traefik, Azure Application Gateway, HA proxy, contour, istro. So like there are multiple ingress controller for Kubernetes cluster. So most used, this is the Nginx ingress controller. Okay, but setup is complex. Okay, and there are some limitation. AWS LP, this is a for cloud specific. Traffic, this is not cloud specific, we can work on any environments. So let's go to the what is the Traefik. Okay, Traefik is an open source most popular edge router ingress controller which is used to expose service from outside. Traefik Ingress Controller also provides SSL termination, adding secrets HTTPS to a reverse proxy to to expose REST API and load balancing. Traefik is used with our existing infrastructure like Kubernetes, Docker Swarm, Amazon ECS, Rancher, Eroka, Azure Services, Azure Service Fabric, etc. So this is a we can use this Traefik with any cloud provider or any provider, and you can expose your services using the load balancing. Okay, so what is the prerequisite for the to implement the Traefik Ingress Controller? So first we have to create a service account, cluster role binding, and cluster for Traefik to access our Kubernetes service. Okay, so whenever we implement any Ingress controller, so we have to give some permissions to access our Kubernetes resources. So what we have to do, we have to create a namespace in kube system namespace. Okay, we have to create a namespace, a service account in a kube system namespace, API version v1, kind service account, metadata name Traefik Ingress Controller, namespace, in which namespace kube system. Okay, next we have to create a role for Traefik Ingress Controller with Kubernetes resources, verbs, and API group permission to Traefik. So we have to create a cluster role. So what permission we have to give to Traefik, okay, to work in Kubernetes cluster? We have to kind cluster role, API version. This is the inbuilt API version of Kubernetes. Okay, to give the cluster role, name is a Traefik Ingress Controller, rules API groups, resources. He want access of services, endpoint, secrets, verbs, get, list, watch. So he can get, list, and watch function means services. Okay. Same as he has access of extension, and he can access of get, list, and watch. Then we have to create a cluster role binding for Traefik Ingress with cluster role reference and service account. So cluster role binding above whatever we create a cluster role and service account. Same in role binding, these two axes I have to bind here. Name Traefik Ingress Controller. I have to what is the role reference, this one cluster role, and this is my service account. Okay, in which namespace kube system. Okay. So let's create a cluster role and service account for the Traefik Ingress Controller. I have set up the Kubernetes cluster. Okay. I have also my own Docker image. Okay. You can also use this. I have created Docker image of Node.js. Okay. Okay. Let's create a one YML file cluster role and service account with one YML. Next, after this role binding and service account, we have to create a load balancer. Traffic is act as a load balancer. So kind is a service. We always expose our services using the in service. Okay, service YML. Kind is a service API version v1. Then selector is a traffic ingress load balancer. Ports, I want all the microservices. I want to use the 80 port for app services and 8080 for the Traefik Ingress Controller dashboard, and type is a load balancer. So let's create these three account. So nano Traefik, paste all these. Okay, one more is miss. So here we have mentioned the service account. Then if you are adding multiple kinds, so we have to separate using the 3 hash between the two kind. Okay. Then kind is a cluster role, the other permissions. Next, role binding. Next we have added the deployment. Okay, traffic deployment. Here I will mention the traffic version containers, traffic ingress. Click at right now I want only one load balancer. Okay, this is my match labels. Okay, traffic ingress LB. This is my metadata. Then specification, I want traffic ingress current and termination grace per second 60 seconds, we can increase also. Then containers, I am using the traffic version of 1.7. Okay, and which will expose app service to the 80 and dashboard to the 8080. Then this traffic deployment I want to expose traffic and traffic dashboard. This is my service and exposing 80 for app services and 8080 for traffic dashboard. Let's save this YML. Let's apply. Command is kubectl create hyphen f traffic yml. Okay, all the service account, role binding, roles, deployment, and service is created. Let's check the pods kubectl get pod, which namespace hyphen n in kube system namespace we define. Okay, that is some system pods and how is it running. So here we have the Traefik Ingress Controller pod. Next, check the deployment kubectl get deployment in which namespace kube system. Okay, the Traefik Ingress is working, running. Let's check service. Get svc hyphen n. Okay, so I have exposed my Traefik Ingress using the load balancer. I got the load balancer URL. So let's run this. So this URL created in AWS load balancer. We can check in AWS. Okay, this is my load balancer. So I have exposed this Kubernetes service using the load balancer. Let's browse Traefik dashboard using the load balancer URL. Copy this URL browser and our port is 88. Let's check how the traffic looks like. This is a provider traffic. This I can add here. We can display front-end service, back-end services. Right now there is nothing. Also we have the option health. Okay. Okay, now our traffic is ready. So if you point in domain name, I have the GoDaddy account. If you want domain name, let's open domain name. Click on DNS. So how we will point load balancer in GoDaddy? So here we have to add the CNAME. So I will show this. So let's delete this. if you want to point a domain, okay, so I can't remember this much long load balancer URL. If you want to point the domain name, let's say domain name is a traffic.hostings.info. Here I have to add host name is a traffic, and points to copy this load balancer URL, paste it here. Here detail set always set in 600 seconds means 5 minutes, and save the file. So let's access this traffic load balancer using the domain name. So domain name is my traffic dot dot and port number is okay. It will taking the time. Okay, so I have pointed my traffic ingress control using the domain name. Okay, on the port 8080, you can change the 8080 ports as per your requirement. So let's deploy one microservice or application. Okay, how it looks, and we mentioned that we can expose our services, each service. Now in this example we are exposing our service, all the service on 80 port. So let's create a service. So let's create a demo application with a name based routing. So we have option like as per your environments. So there can be a name based routing or path based routing. Okay, so let's create a node.js applications. Okay, which is an image of I have added in the Docker Hub. So kind of deployments. As I said that in production, all the pods will mention the deployments. So you won't create a separate pod deployments, pod YML. So kind of the deployment app version is VS. My name is Node.js demo. In which namespace, cube system namespace. Okay, match label. We should match in the deployment service Node.js demo. Keep in remember while creating the deployment and service what labels you are adding. Okay, then container is Node.js. This is my image. So how you will find this name in Docker Hub? Click on the image, this image, click on public view, and you can where you can find that what image name I have to add in my deployment in our Kubernetes. Okay, I copied this name, pasted it here. Okay, let's save the Node.js deployment. Let's create a service to expose this Node.js application. Let's create a service. Here API version v1, kind with the service Node.js name is matching selectors, match labels and selectors, metadata and matching namespace cube system, port name on protocol HTTP, and target port is 80, and outside world also 80. Let's save this service YML. Let's deploy this service. Deployment tile services. Okay. So we have created Traefik service account, role binding, roles, deployment for Traefik, service for Traefik, and created one application. For that we have created deployment and service. So what is the next? To expose our service, we have to create a one ingress YML, okay, where I will add all my microservices. Here I am giving the demo ingress. So what information within it? Kind is ingress, name is demo ingress, namespace cube system, annotation this is provided by Kubernetes, okay. And now in specification I have to add all the microservices. So right now I am adding this microservice with the name based routing. Host name is app2.fastengines.info. Path you can search. I'm telling that you search this microservice in the root path where all my code here. You can add here path slash your application name like payment like this as per your service. Service name is Node.js and I'm exposing to the port 80. Let's apply this ingress. Okay, sorry. Demo ingress. Let's check the pod. So I have the Node.js pod is running and Traefik also running. Let's check the deployment. Get verify all the pod deployment service before running. So deployment is also running. Traefik Ingress deployment also running. Let's check service kubectl get svc invoice names -n cube system. Okay, service is exposed. What is my service name? Node.js demo, and with cluster IP is assigned internally. Okay, on port 80. So here we have created ingress and its invoice namespace cube system and kind is ingress. So how to list out the ingress? Command is kubectl get ingress -n namespace cube system. Okay, here is my ingress name is demo ingress. Right now I have hosted my one microservices. Name is app2.fastengines.info on port 80. If you want to check the run, describe the ingress, command is kubectl describe ingress and my ingress name. demo ingress in which namespace -n cube system. Okay, so right now this is my one microservice app2.fastML.info, path is root, node.js demo, and it internally assign the one IP. Okay, sometimes it does not assign the IP and port, so in that case you have to troubleshoot. So what was the wrong? So we check that some, suppose here is IP is not assigned, you have to troubleshoot, you have to check the pod logs, deployment services, or any YML errors. Okay, that we have to troubleshoot. We also face like this issue. So our service is exposed using the ingress controllers. Let's check in traffic dashboard. It is added, whether it is added in the traffic. Refresh it. Okay, here you can see that my one microservice is exposed in IP backend port. This is assigned internally. Kubernetes assigned one IP and on my port 80. Okay, so if you want to point at this domain name app2.fasting, so you have created deployed one microservice in traffic, so you have to point at this domain name. Okay, then what you will do, so again you will find dash load balancer URL kubectl get svc -n cube system. Let's point this traffic load balancer URL to my domain. Here my app2, I will delete it. Let's create a record. You have to select the CNAME record while pointing the load balancer URL. Name is my app2. Copy the load balancer URL. Set the PTL. Save this. Takes some time to pointing our newly created service in traffic, so sometimes it takes time to load. So let's browse app2. Okay, running is there, so just I have a message in that, so it is getting some messages. Okay, so let's check health. Okay, you can see that here what is the health, all these things, response time, all this in the traffic and load balancer. So we have deployed one microservices in the load balancer. Let's suppose you have the one more microservices and you have to add in the load balancer Traefik Ingress Controller. Okay. Let's create one more deployment. So let's create one more Nginx. Just deployment. Okay, let's I'm verifying whether it is all correct. Just, okay, I will add here, I will change here deployment file nginx image. I will add the nginx 1.7.9. nginx demo. Okay, I have created one more deployment for nginx. Deployment I have to vision nginx demo cube system replicas match labels engine depot. Okay, then image nginx. Let's create this deployment. So, okay, there is issue with my system. Let's clear the screen. Let's run this deployment whether it will work. Save the YML, kubectl, create an F, my deployment name, quick created. Let's check pod is running. kubectl get pods n kube system. Okay, it is saying that invalid image name. Okay, so let's take another image. let this delete this pod kubectl or deployment. Deployment open n group. To delete the deployment command is kubectl delete deployment, my deployment name. So here it is showing that 0 means some invalid image name, and the next demo use namespace cube system. Related, let's check pod. Pod is also not there. Let's delete this deployment. Let's change the image. Let's create. Let's check pod. Okay, messages containing creating. Okay, okay, let's check again. Okay, now my pod is ready. Okay, running. Let's create a service. Let's verify all these matching. Nginx demo, Nginx demo. Let's save. Let's apply this service. Okay. Let's check service kubectl get svc group system namespace. Okay, my service is running. In the next demo, let's check deployment. Deployment also running. So let's add one more microservices in Ingress. So how you will do that? So let's check the Ingress name. Command is kubectl get Ingress namespace. Okay, name is a demo Ingress. So how you can edit that? So command is kubectl edit ingress name is demo ingress use namespace cube system, and you have to add one more URL or microservice in that. So here you can find this ingress file. So you have to copy this from the host. You have to copy the host to the part type and click on insert to edit, and after part type enter command first, paste this line, this host and this host should match. Okay, here I am giving the name is app1, app1, and what is my service name is Nginx. Like this you have the multiple service. Just you have to create only one first time ingress, then whatever you are the all the microservices you have to add in this ingress. App2, app1, and service name should match. This is my Nginx name. Save the file. Okay, edited. Let's check in Traefik dashboard. Okay, so I have the two microservices. One is the app1 and app2. This is a port 80. Why it is showing front end both? Because I have exposed this service on port 80. That's why it is showing in front end and back ends. So if you are mentioning in other service, it will mention like it will add in back ends or front end. Okay, two microservices running. To point the domain name, one more app1. Let's delete this one. Let's add one more record. CNAME. First one is app1. How you point the load balancer name? Command is kubectl get svc namespace cube system. Copy this load balancer URL and add in your domain provider CNAME record. Okay, let's check. Checking. Okay, so my another one more microservice is running. So we have shown that how to deploy the more than one microservice. So all the microservices exposing in port 80. So that's why we are using the ingress controllers. Okay, because there are limitation in node port cluster IP load balancing. So every cluster IP or node port different, we have to assign different ports. So here we can assign the one port to the all microservices. So here I have mentioned that so I have also compared that what is the Traefik vs Ingress controller. So what is the difference? Both are open source tools. Ingress controller is free and open source, high performance proxy web server. Traefik Traefik is also open source and act as a load balancer, which is used to expose service from outside. Companies like Spotify, Uber, Airbnb are using Nginx, where companies are this Doc Planner, Viado, Condo, using Traefik. Okay, so what is the main design? Traefik over Nginx. Traefik built-in. Let's encrypt if you want to add more SSL or export service using 443, and we can add in a Traefik Ingress Controller and support automatic renewal, and also enables HTTP 2 and REST API. So for that, Traefik is most popular and more feature in a Traefik Ingress Controller. So if you also got tasks, you should also implement this Traefik